Have you ever felt that heavy, sinking feeling in your chest? That almost physical weight that settles right in the center of your being? It's a distinct sensation, a knot forming that seems to tighten with every passing moment. It often appears after saying yes to something you didn't truly want to do. That agreement that felt like a small compromise at the time, but now feels like a significant burden. We say yes to one more project, piling it onto an already overflowing workload. We tell ourselves it's just this once, but the just this once requests keep coming. One more favor for a friend, a neighbor, a colleague, even when our own to-do list stretches endlessly before us. One more commitment, squeezing it into a schedule that's already bursting at the seams. We tell ourselves we can handle it, we always do, but at what cost? Each one stacking up, a relentless accumulation, until we're buried beneath the weight of our own overcommitment. The mountain grows taller, the air gets thinner, and we struggle to breathe. It's not about being unkind or unhelpful, it's not about shutting others out. It's about recognizing our limits, acknowledging that we are finite beings with finite resources. It's about understanding that saying no is not a rejection of others, but an affirmation of ourselves. The pressure to always agree, to be seen as agreeable and accommodating can be immense, but constantly yielding to that pressure can erode our sense of self, slowly chipping away at our individuality. It blurs the line between our own genuine needs and the expectations that others place upon us, leaving us feeling lost and disconnected from our true selves. Our yes often comes from a deep-seated desire to connect with others, to forge meaningful relationships, to be loved, to be accepted, to feel a sense of belonging within a community or a family. But when our yes is primarily driven by fear, by the anxiety of potential consequences, the fear of disappointing someone, the fear of conflict or confrontation, the fear of being judged or ostracized, then it becomes a burden, a heavy weight that we carry with us, rather than a freely given gift. We start performing a role, acting out a version of ourselves that we think others want to see, instead of connecting authentically with our true selves and with others. We become preoccupied with managing perceptions, carefully curating an image, instead of simply living authentically and embracing our imperfections. This is a dangerous path, a slippery slope that leads to burnout, resentment, and a profound sense of emptiness. True belonging, the kind of connection that truly nourishes our souls, never asks us to betray ourselves, to compromise our values, or to sacrifice our well-being. The weight of an insincere yes, a promise made out of obligation or fear, is far heavier, far more draining, than the temporary discomfort of an honest and respectful no. Reclaiming our no, learning to say it with grace and conviction, is an act of profound courage and self-respect. It's not about shutting people out or building walls around ourselves, isolating ourselves from the world. It's about honoring our own time, protecting our energy, and prioritizing our own well-being, so that we can show up fully and authentically in the relationships that truly matter. Saying yes to everything that comes our way, without discernment or boundaries, ultimately means saying no to the very things that truly nourish us, the activities and relationships that bring us joy and fulfillment. Saying no is an act of love for ourselves, a declaration that our needs matter. We're taught that putting ourselves first is selfish, but that's a dangerous myth. Ignoring our needs leads to resentment and burnout. From that place, we have nothing genuine left to give. Think of your energy as a well. If you never replenish it, it runs dry. A no isn't rejection, it's stewardship of your well-being. It allows you to say a wholehearted yes to what truly matters. The courage to say no is the courage to live intentionally. Our no creates space for our own growth and joy. It's a practice of honoring our humanity and limits. On the other side of discomfort is the freedom to live a life that feels true. Boundaries aren't walls to punish or push people away. They're the line where you end and others begin. Saying no is how we communicate that line. It's not a weapon, but a clarification. This is what's okay for me, and this is what's not. Without boundaries, we lose ourselves and open the door to resentment. Think of a boundary like a fence with a gate. You choose who and what comes in. A clear no is closing the gate when you need rest. Boundaries aren't about controlling others, but about your own choices. For example, if you continue to yell, "I will leave the room," this puts control back in your hands. The most compassionate people are also the most boundaried. Their yes is true, their no is honest. Clear boundaries lead to trust and authentic connection. They're not selfish, they're essential for healthy relationships. When you say no, you create space for genuine generosity. Finding the courage to say no is a practice, not a one-time act. Start small. Practice in low-risk situations to build confidence. Each small no is a victory, teaching your brain that your needs are valid. One simple step: stop giving immediate yeses. Create a pause. Say, "Let me check and get back to you." This pause gives you space to check in with yourself. Prepare simple, polite no scripts. "Thank you, but I can't take that on right now." You don't owe anyone a detailed explanation. Practice saying no in front of a mirror. Get comfortable with your own voice. Notice your body language, stand tall. The first real no will still feel brave, but these small steps are your training wheels. Over time, it gets easier. Each no is a step toward freedom and self-respect. You're building a life that honors your needs. Let me tell you about Sarah, a bright and capable professional, much like many of us. She was dedicated, hardworking, and always willing to lend a hand. But Sarah had a secret struggle, a silent battle that many face in today's fast-paced world. She was the go-to person for everyone. Colleagues, friends, even acquaintances knew they could count on Sarah for anything, big or small. Her reputation as a reliable and helpful individual preceded her. She was always helpful, eager to assist with projects, offer advice, or simply lend a listening ear. No task was too daunting, no request too trivial. Sarah prided herself on being there for others, always available. Whether it was a late-night phone call, a last-minute request, or a weekend favor, Sarah made herself accessible to everyone. Her phone was always on, her inbox always monitored, ready to respond at a moment's notice, until she was exhausted and resentful. The constant demands on her time and energy began to take their toll. The endless cycle of giving left her feeling depleted, overwhelmed, and increasingly bitter. One day, her boss asked her to take on yet another project, a high-pressure assignment with a tight deadline. It was the last straw. The automatic yes was on her lips, the ingrained response she had perfected over years of people-pleasing. But she paused. A flicker of defiance, a spark of self-preservation ignited within her. She thought about her daughter's soccer game, a game she had promised to attend but was now in jeopardy due to her overflowing workload. The book she hadn't read, gathering dust on her nightstand, a symbol of the personal time she had sacrificed. The rest she desperately needed, the quiet moments of solitude that had become a distant memory. For the first time, she said, her voice trembling slightly but filled with newfound resolve, "I can't take on another project right now. I'm already at capacity and I wouldn't be able to give it the attention it deserves." Her boss simply nodded and, to her surprise, understood. He reassigned the project to someone else without argument or resentment. That small, terrifying no changed everything. It was a turning point, a moment of liberation. The world didn't fall apart. The office continued to function. The project still got done. In fact, people respected her more. They recognized her boundaries and valued her time. She started saying no in other areas, to unnecessary meetings, to draining social obligations, to requests that didn't align with her priorities. Declining to host Thanksgiving, a tradition that had become a source of stress rather than joy. Letting calls go to voicemail, prioritizing her own peace and quiet over the constant barrage of demands. Each no was hard, a challenge to overcome her ingrained desire to please. But each one gave her back a piece of herself, reclaiming her time, her energy, and her sense of self-worth. Sarah learned her value wasn't in endless giving, but in authentic presence, in being fully present for the people and activities that truly mattered to her. By saying no, she finally said a joyful yes to her own life, a life filled with purpose, passion, and genuine happiness. Setting a boundary is only half the battle. It's the initial step, the declaration of your needs and limits. But what comes next is often the most challenging part of the process. The real challenge is facing the guilt that follows. That nagging feeling that you've done something wrong, that you've hurt someone, or that you're somehow a bad person for prioritizing yourself. Guilt whispers, "You're selfish." It preys on your insecurities, making you question your motives and your worth. You let them down. It reminds you of the expectations you've always strived to meet, the roles you've always played. But feeling guilty doesn't automatically mean you've done something wrong. It's crucial to understand this distinction. Guilt can be a signal, but it's not always an accurate reflection of reality. More often than not, it means you're breaking old habits, dismantling patterns of behavior that no longer serve you. You're stepping outside your comfort zone and challenging the status quo. When guilt shows up, acknowledge it. Don't try to suppress it or ignore it. "Hello, guilt. I see you because I did something new. I recognize that you're here because I'm changing and growing." Guilt is often a sign you're transforming, shedding old layers and emerging into a stronger, more authentic version of yourself. Rewriting old rules about your worth, challenging the beliefs that have kept you small and limited for far too long. You're creating a new narrative for your life. Remind yourself why you said no. Revisit the reasons that led you to set the boundary in the first place. To protect your energy and honor your priorities. To create space for the things that truly matter to you and to prevent burnout and resentment. The discomfort of guilt is temporary. It will eventually subside as you become more accustomed to your new boundaries, but betraying yourself, compromising your values, and neglecting your needs lasts much longer, leading to chronic dissatisfaction and unhappiness. Learn to distinguish healthy guilt from toxic guilt. Healthy guilt arises when you've genuinely acted against your values or harmed someone. Toxic guilt, on the other hand, keeps you trapped in people-pleasing, preventing you from asserting your needs and living authentically. When you say no, toxic guilt is just your old self trying to pull you back into familiar patterns, urging you to conform to expectations that no longer align with your truth. Use a mantra, a positive affirmation that reinforces your right to set boundaries and prioritize your well-being. My needs are valid. It's okay to protect my peace. I am worthy of rest, respect, and self-care. Over time, the guilt fades as you witness the positive impact of your boundaries on your life and relationships, replaced by self-respect and freedom, a sense of empowerment that comes from living in alignment with your values and honoring your needs. You can be kind and loving, generous and compassionate, without sacrificing your own well-being, and still have firm boundaries, clear limits that protect your time, energy, and emotional space. Each no strengthens your relationship with yourself, deepening your self-awareness and fostering a sense of inner trust and self-acceptance. We often think saying no is unkind, but a clear no is actually generous. A yes given out of obligation is half-hearted and breeds resentment. A clear no is a gift of honesty, allowing others to find real support. An unclear yes is a form of deception and leads to disappointment. Clear is kind, unclear is unkind. When we're vague, we create confusion and anxiety. A direct no, delivered with respect, honors the other person's time and energy. Your clarity is a gift to the relationship. You're choosing authenticity over performance, long-term trust over short-term approval. A clean no is always better than a messy, resentful yes. Without the ability to say no, we live by default, reacting to others' needs, not our own. Our days become chaotic, unfulfilling, and not truly ours. Saying no is how we move from a life by default to a life by design. Each no creates space for what matters most. Get clear on your true yeses. What makes you feel alive and authentic? Make a list of your non-negotiable yeses. Let it guide your decisions. When a new request comes, ask, does this align with my core yeses? Saying no becomes easier when you know what you're saying yes to. This is a daily practice, requiring courage and self-awareness. By embracing no, you gain the freedom to build a life that truly belongs to you. Your worth isn't measured by your productivity or your willingness to say yes. It's inherent, unconditional. You are worthy simply because you exist. Setting boundaries doesn't diminish your value, it honors it. When you honor your needs, you model for others that they can do the same. Your courageous no creates healthier, more honest relationships. The journey of learning to say no is about reclaiming your power and your voice. It will feel uncomfortable and messy, but every no strengthens your relationship with yourself. You're building self-trust, self-respect, and self-love. Listen to your inner wisdom. It knows what you need. Start small, but start today. Practice the pause, say the words, even if your voice shakes. Your no makes space for a more meaningful yes. Your needs, your peace, your joy, they matter, and so do you.